Hello everyone and welcome back to my Let's Play of Star Trek Judgment Rites. We are aboard the S-Bar station trying to figure out how to stop the weapon that will destroy the Federation in a few days. Or actually, I think according to the timeline in a few hours. So, just done this guy who set the computer at diagnostic, but we need to access the computer in order to find out where the weapon is.
A rather unconscious computer technician. James Kirk never seems at ease in a room full of computers. Dr. Leonard McCoy doesn't like working with machines, but doesn't like primitive medicine either. Mr. Spock seems perfectly at home in a room full of computers. The memory unit of the station's main computer. A three-dimensional chess set.
I think that's how they do diagnostics on a computer in this, is they have it playing chess with each other, with itself.
A three-dimensional chess set. The central processor of the main computer.
The tricorder can tap into the core memory, provided that we can end the diagnostic cycle. Nothing unusual about that object, Captain.
It looks like I was taking a look at something. I want to be sure what I do here, and I think I did something wrong by using the phasers on those consoles in the other room, but I'm not sure. We'll see how the score looks at the end. Let's have Spock use this chess set.
Captain, the computer is locked into an infinite loop. It will continue playing the game until it defeats itself. I can interrupt the moves and input my own.
Try rook to queen's level 3. That will threaten its bishop.
There are several moves you could do, which is defensive or aggressive, but you're supposed to go to the one that's on neutral ground.
Try knight to king level 1. That will shore up our defenses.
So that's a defensive one.
Try queen to queen's level 2. Let's sacrifice our queen to take that knight.
That's the aggressive
Try
one.
rook to queen's level 3. That will threaten its bishop.
An excellent move.
Now let's push a pawn on king's level. That will force it into a more stable position. Now move your other rook to support it on queen's level. We should be able to threaten the queen or the bishop. Let's try something a little dangerous. Rook to king's level 2.
Now
Now
this
move
is
your
the
other
one we
rook
use here.
to support it on queen's level. We should be able to threaten the queen or the bishop.
It seemed to be expecting something else, Captain. Its queen is vulnerable.
Let's not be too hasty. Advancing the bishop to support the rook will give us a solid advantage on the board. Let's confuse it with a sacrifice. It might be interesting to trade queens. Let's take the queen and see if it resigns.
Now this is this choice will work too, but it does not give you as much points
Let's
as
not be
this
too
one.
hasty.
A superb game, Captain. You have mated it. The diagnostic cycle has ended.
Excellent, Spock. Can you access the computer?
The main memory unit will not accept my attempts to access. I will need to find a more friendly interface with enough memory to hold the information.
So in other words, use the tricorder.
Captain, I am connecting the science tricorder to the central computer. We can use it to tap into the computer now that the diagnostic cycle is finished. We might use Dr. McCoy's tricorder as well. Captain, I am connecting the medical tricorder to the central computer.
Okay.
Success, Captain. I have access to Burdell's Project Big Bang files and to the access code for his personal quarters.
That'd be good, but first we should stop the weapon before we, well, find out more about the weapon before we go into Burdell's quarters. See, got the transporter room.
Jim, what's that smell?
Wanaka gas, a knockout gas with an extremely long effect.
We have mere seconds to neutralize it or get out of here.
Okay, let's get out of there. Otherwise, we'll be knocked out and the weapon will be able to destroy the Federation.
The door is locked, Jim.
Okay, fine. Let's go to Docking Bay 1.
Surrender or die.
Surrender, or we'll phaser the airlock and we'll all go flying out together.
No,
Can I have 5 minutes to think about it? We surrender.
just do this choice and you'll
Let's get their weapons.
see what we do about this.
7 with 1 blow.
An exaggeration, Doctor.
Come on, you two.
James Kirk looks for a way to make certain his ship is safe. Spock notes the transparent aluminum doors with passive interest. Dr. McCoy wonders how many more casualties are going to occur on this mission, then wishes he didn't think about such things. An unconscious Vardane guard.
Have you ever had that moment where you're thinking about the worst that could happen and then you're like, why did I think about that?
This looks like an Analbi-class light personal transport, similar to the shuttlecraft aboard Federation starships. This controls the atmosphere within the transport and docking bays. This controls the force field that protects the transport and docking bays. The door into the docking bay. This monitors the effectiveness of the cosmic ray filter along the shuttle bay. These controls open and close the shuttle bay doors. An unconscious Vard...
I wish I knew what to do.
Captain, I am quite willing to offer some suggestions if you wish.
Observations, Mr. Spock.
We should attempt to gather evidence that Dr. Burdell is planning to commit genocide. Others may help us if they are confronted with the scope of Burdell's misdeeds. We need to shut down the tractor beam that is currently holding the Enterprise. Until the ship is freed, our options are limited. Our chief priority is to find the reason for the Holocaust that was reported by the Alexander and stop it from occurring.
I wish I knew what...
Captain,
I already talked to him.
Ask Spock for advice. Maybe if you read the lines in his pointy ears, you can see the future.
that is one of the most irrational statements I have ever heard you make, Doctor.
It was a joke, you green-blooded machine of a Vulcan.
Unfortunately, Doctor, even by human standards, your sense of humor is erratic at best.
I think I have Spock use these controls.
Spock, remove the atmosphere. Spock, sabotage the system. Spock, remove the atmosphere.
Okay.
The atmosphere has been pumped out. Magnetic locks are keeping the transport in place, Captain. I do not see the logic in...
Spock, restore the... Spock, sabotage the system.
The controls are no longer functioning, Captain.
That way, you can't get in there and escape.
Spock, open the outer door. Spock, sabotage the system.
I think we just sabotage the system so they
The
can't.
controls are no longer functioning, Captain.
Even if he transports in there, he won't be able to open the door. So let's go into this part. Don't think you could go up there, but it's like this is under construction here, and there's no radiation, luckily.
This door is labeled Executive Quarters. This door is labeled Special Projects Room. This door is labeled E.S. Burdell.
That's his quarters.
This door is labeled Crew Quarters. McCoy wishes he was back on board the Enterprise. A weary James T. Kirk. Spock looks unperturbed, even with the imminent destruction of the Federation.
Well, Spock, what do you suggest?
We should attempt to gather evidence that Dr. Burdell is planning to commit genocide. Others may help us if they are confronted with the scope of Bridel's misdeeds. We need to shut down
Well,
our
that's the
chief
same
priority.
thing.
Be careful. This looks too quiet.
I'm afraid that the social Darwinists have never impressed me, Jim. Building a better human on the inside is far more preferable to improving his physical traits.
I agree with that statement.
Originally, Doctor, Vardane was a very harsh environment. The Vardane claimed that the original human settlers required genetic engineering to survive.
Living only to survive is a poor life indeed, Spock.
That's true too. Let's see what's in here. What the hell is that?
A mutated Antarian man-killer, an improved version of one of the most feared animals in the galaxy.
My God, it's not just an Antarian man-killer. You should see some of the generic engineering they've done to it. They've actually made it deadlier.
With a name like Mankiller, I'm pretty sure it's already pretty deadly, but didn't he have to make it deadlier? What goes through those mad scientists' minds sometimes? Oh, this thing's so deadly, so let's make it deadlier.
A formidable achievement in genetics, Doctor, given that the species is renowned throughout the galaxy as one of the most powerful and dangerous predators in known space.
There are reasons why the Federation monitors genetic research, and this thing is one of them.
Let's talk to it.
I think that's I'm going to do horrible things to your anatomy in the language of the Antarian man-killers.
Some sort of special project controls. Very bulky with a lot of prototype components. It is currently protected by a force field.
According to my tricorder, Captain, the power system for this force field originates from the security section.
So I guess we gotta get into the security section at one point.
A large machine. It looks like the center of an experiment.
Let's see what kind of experiment, maybe.
The tricorder doesn't detect anything living, Jim, except the snippets of loose DNA strands.
Maybe Spock's tricorder could see what they're doing.
The device appears to be involved in genetic research, Captain. It inserts mutagens into genes and monitors their progress. The device is empty.
I bet you'll
sorry.
find genetic residue that they use to add to our warm and cuddly friend over there.
Dr. McCoy looks at the equipment, wondering when his services will be needed. Mr. Spock looks at the equipment, wondering when his services will be needed. James Kirk, he's a little hungry right now.
Why is he hungry for?
A most deadly beast. Almost as deadly as some of the predators on Vulcan.
You know, Jim, I really could have done without meeting this thing.
Come on, Bones, it'll build character.
I have quite enough character, thank you very much.
Nice looking animal.
Let's see if we can.
This is the control for the special weapon that is holding the Enterprise. A force field prevents our access to the controls. Captain, my tricorder indicates that the force field controls can be neutralized in the station's security center.
Okay, so we need to find a way to get in there. Probably the best way is maybe transport there. See what's in the executive quarters.
A large potted plant is hanging from the wall.
Somebody has a green thumb here.
You mean to tell me there are Verdane who are interested in something other than eugenics or military conquest?
But Kadashim was proof of that. Unfortunately, it cost him much.
Oh,
An atmospheric purifier. It is capable of removing contaminants from large quantities of air or water in less than a second. It carries the brand of the Save a Ship Manufacturing Corporation.
Now, why would you need an atmosphere purifier on a space station? The filters should be built into the life support system.
I suspect it could help someone with extreme allergies.
Yeah, this is what that guy was saying about the creeper. That's in a creeper right there.
This is a wall cabinet, a bed, a comfortable pseudo-leather chair, library monitors. These data screens provide information and entertainment for board executives. An external monitor used by central control to send messages to this room. This appears to be a synthesis between a computer and a musical instrument.
A Kikilian? How rare.
What is it?
It has many uses, Bones, but it's most commonly used as a mood inducer. It emits subsonic vibrations at a wavelength that stimulates the emotional centers of the human brain.
Maybe we could use it on the Verdane.
The effects of a Kikilian are not significant enough to radically change emotional states. If it had such abilities, logic would suggest it would have wide use as a narcotic.
Well, that's one great plan that's gone down in flames.
A selection of bound technical printouts. One of the technicians really loves his work. James Kirk seems relieved to find the room deserted. McCoy wonders if there is a medical doctor aboard this facility.
I haven't seen one, so...
Mr. Spock eyes the instrument on the rear wall with interest.
I do not have enough experience on the instrument, Captain. I do not believe that it would be advisable.
Jim, you don't suffer from hay fever, do you?
Your record should show that I don't, Bones. Why do you ask?
Well, somebody on the station does, and that's why the filter's set up in here. The Malborian creeper here is producing pollen at an incredible rate. I've never seen anything like it.
Another Verdane improved life form.
You touch everything.
Can't they leave anything alone?
Most of the time, no.
Well, let's take that filter. That could be
The
useful.
filter is bulky but portable.
Talk to these guys, they're not going to call it Let's Play.
Does anyone have any suggestions? Well, Bones, do you have any ideas?
I'm not a religious man, Jim, but a few prayers couldn't hurt us right now.
Spock?
We should attempt to gather evidence that
Okay, that's just pretty
Spock.
much the same thing.
We should attempt to gather evidence that
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call it Let's Play here, so
Save new game. Replace previous game.
I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.